I remember the first numbers of eBay was just really like, 25 cents on the transaction, 10 cents on the transaction, just really small cuts of the transaction, but became very, very, very powerful, and even still so, a very, very powerful and viable business in the marketplace that set standards. And yet all these other companies that came, what were they doing? They were solving problems. And at the level that you solve problems is at the level that you get paid. Would you rather solve 1 million people's problem and get 10 cents a person or transaction? Or would you rather solve one person's problem and get 10 cents? Of course, you would rather it'd be nice to serve one person and get $1 million per person you serve. That's great. If you can do that, that's also a massive disruption to the marketplace, because that's not an easy thing to do, to get to be the person that's saying, I'm worth $1 million, write that check, just what I'm going to give you. If you can do that, that's wonderful. It's also based upon solving someone's problems. So in order to solve someone's problems, you have to be someone who is thinking like a problem solver, and someone who is actually functioning and working in a position of problem solving, creating a team to solve the problems, or creating a system that solves the problems, or creating a software that solves the problems. You have to create something that systematically allows the problem to continually be solved. So a person can go, that works for me, it's going to work for you, that works for you, that's going to work for you, that's going to work for you. And it can spread, and you can own more of the market than anyone else, or at least a good portion of a good chunk, that cause waves and cause tension. And so what we have to do is we have to go to that last word I said, cause tension. We have to allow tension in order to cause tension. And there's two things that you have to understand. When you see a problem, I remember when I first, I really enjoyed math. I don't know why I enjoyed math, but when I saw a problem in math, they would give me a problem, and it was something I'd never seen before. I didn't know what that symbol was, that plus symbol, that minus symbol, that equal symbol. I didn't know what those symbols were. I look at it, and the first thing was, it's chaos. I didn't really get this. What is this all about? What are they talking about? I didn't get it. The more they explained, okay, 1 and this plus sign means you add this 1 into that 1, and then the equal sign means that you have 2 now. This 1 plus sign, that 1 equals 2. Now that's a really, we go, oh, that's easy, that's simple. We know that one. That wasn't simple when you first saw it. When you first saw it, it was a chaotic problem. It was something that you couldn't figure out. You didn't know what the symbols meant. You didn't know what was going on. You didn't understand how to make it all work and how to make sense of it. But once you got it once and twice, and you really worked it out and you practiced. I love the idea that we practice math. Because I don't use some of the math that I practice, but I practice. What was I practicing? I was practicing not being nervous at looking at something I didn't get. And that was one of the things, I don't know if my teacher wanted me to get that, but that's what I got out of math. I looked at something that I didn't get, and I go, okay, there's got to be a way to get this. Otherwise, it wouldn't be presented as a problem. So we call math problems things that need to be solved, but we don't look at life problems and say, oh, that's also a solving thing. That's something I need to solve. 1 + 1 equals this, that plus. So we need to actually look at these and go, okay, if that's a problem, that means it's no different than my math problem and no different than any other problem. I love the idea that we were taught in school math problems. You've been taught how to handle problems. You just have to find, this is the problem. This is what I have here. It's 1. Okay, what do I add to it, or what do I subtract from it, or what do I multiply to it in order to make it something that I want it to equate? So I have to, remember when they made us work backwards, they gave you the one part of the equation, and then they gave you the solution, or they gave you the end product of what you want. And so you go, that's one part of it, and that's what I want to get to. What is here in the middle that I'm missing? And if we actually really paid attention to life, that's what life is doing. You get this one problem and go, I don't like that this car is constantly breaking down. What do I want? I want that Bentley. I want that G-Wagon. I want that Mazda. Whatever your thing is, you want that. Whatever that is you want, this is not it, and this is not what I have. What is this middle part component here of the equation that I'm missing? That's how disruption works. That's how you have to first disrupt your thinking. You have to disrupt your mindset. But before you can disrupt your mindset, you have to first disrupt. You have to be okay with the chaotic problem. You have to go, okay, this problem is chaos. I don't get this. I don't like this, and I don't know how to get to that. So what is this? Now, as soon as I start asking about what is this problem, what is this part of the equation that I'm not getting, I immediately start to break apart thoughts. That's what disruption. Remember, disruption is to break and separate things. I immediately start to separate. Okay, then I go, okay, well, this plus what I'm making now, that doesn't equate that. This plus what I'm making now plus a side thing, side hustle, that could make that, or this plus what I'm making now, start that side hustle, make it into a business, then I can get to that. But I don't feel comfortable about that hustle, right? That thing. So you keep working that until you get to this right thought process. And that's how the disruption works. That's why people come up with, putting an app and a person who has a car who needs money, right? That's their side hustle. They need money. So we're going to call this Uber, right? And so you put these two things together. You have a person who needs a ride, a person who needs to give a ride, a person who needs to have another paycheck, a person who needs to have and you put it together with a simple little app. That little app with this back end aspect of things brought things together, and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. We know that. Okay, so what is your thing? This is what I have. This is what I want. What's in the middle? How do you get to that? You first have to allow the thing to disrupt you for a second. It has to feel right. What does that mean? It has to feel uncomfortable. If it doesn't feel uncomfortable, it's not a powerful enough emotion to disrupt you, which means you won't disrupt your normal thinking, your normal pattern. You have to disrupt your normal thinking, your normal pattern by allowing the chaos to hit you and go, this is chaotic. I don't like it. Okay, this plus this equals this. I don't like whatever this is. I need to find out what that is, and I'm going for that. And then you find out what that is, and you keep throwing. One of the people that I've studied in disruption, they said what we did is we just threw stuff at the wall, and we just found out what would stick. What would stick? So you just have to experiment. You have to try at that point. You have to find out what's going to stick. Is this going to work? Oh, that's going to work. Oh, that's not going to work. And you just keep throwing stuff at the wall until the right thing sticks. Once the right thing sticks, you go, that's it. I'm going to continue to work on this, and then I'm going to scale it. I'm going to now multiply this thing that works. It works on 1. It works on 2. It works on 3. And I guarantee if it works for you and it works for one other people, there's a lot of people in the world that it will work for. Then you have to get into this next part, which is you have to create a disruption in the marketplace. And the way you do that is first, the chaos is necessary for the problem solving. The second thing is disruption is the key to problem solving thinking. You have to become a thinker, get the right mindset. Then the third thing is problem solving is the key disruption in the marketplace. So you have to now present it to the rest of the marketplace and go, this is how I solve my problem. It also works for my best friend and my neighbor, my sister, however you use that, testimonials, websites, social media post. You start to get that out there. You let people grab it, taste it, try it, give them a little bit of value up front. And then next, you're creating a disruption in the marketplace by creating first a small tribe in the marketplace of people who go, I want that. That works for you. That works for me. I'm going to do that. Hopefully this is helpful. This is your Barrier Buster moment, the Barrier Buster talk of the day. We're learning how to disrupt in not only in our world, things are going to disrupt in our lives. We're going to know how to make those things equate to what we want. And we're going to have the mindset of a disruptor, which is a person who says, I can fix this problem. And then thirdly, you're going to be the person who says, I have the problem. I have the solution for your problem here, marketplace, and we're going to give it out.